Limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing. Not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring, sun up, baby.
Hey, Roundtable Season 2. Scotty and Blue. Backpack coming through. Let's square it away, ain't nothing like the round table. I pay you if able to find better on cable. They made you appreciate Scotty and Blue. Football media, walking encyclopedia. Scott understand, the Blue got the stats handy. Football, the topic around it, they ain't dancing. Stat sheet longer than Clifford Harris's rap sheet. He run a phone, please. See why you playing them that deep. Awkward silence, no need to be quiet. You know you saw the game, we might as well talk about it. Somebody caught a body in front of everybody. Pick six, cornerback out here committing robberies. How much you wanna bet we could cover the spread? 50 yards in the game, 100 after the catch. Throw it up if you want, I'ma grab it and flex. Season 2, Captain Pettier, still with the mess. You can move how you want, but we gon' move too. Round table with your boys, yeah, Scotty and Blue. Backpack. Poet.
Let's go, we in here. You already know what it is. It's your boy Scotty with my boy Blue.
What's good, man? What's good?
What's going on, Blue? Yeah, listen, I see you with the King Griffey, you know, the kid, you know, with the hat back.
I finally got the haircut, had to get the beard trim a little bit, man. I went out of town too early last week. I didn't get a chance to, so I was getting too long.
What? You look real professional when we saw you at Southern. You look real.
Man, listen, back in the day, I had like the long hair, and like now it's like that's long for me in terms of like hair.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Hey, listen. Hey, SWAC Football Network said, make sure you tune into the game because I'm going to be at Alcorn and I'm going to be locked in on my phone. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to SWAC Football Network, man. Make sure you guys go over there, subscribe, and watch the game. It is what it is. Hey, you already know what it is. Breaking news. All right, we already know everybody's heard. Blue got his article out. I came up with my live show. Doc Gamble has been fired. Blue, when you first heard the news, what was your thoughts?
It's one of those things that's like you never want to celebrate someone losing their job or anything like that, but it's like I felt like they needed to go in another direction. The only year that they achieved anything was the year that the quote unquote dominant team in their division didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much that counted. And then they've won one conference game since that season. It's just it's never turned around in this. I just don't know. I'm not surprised at all. They got to be better. And with Jackson State coming up, with all these teams in the SWAC, quote unquote, getting better in the all season, what's the one school, Scotty, that neither of us talked about? Blitz City does recruiting. We all do recruiting. What's one school we never talked about this all season?
UAPB.
You got to recruit at a high level, man. This is the way the conference as a whole is moving up. You got to keep up. And so I just think UAPB saw the writing on the wall. And like any other school, this is what I say about midseason firings. It's always to get ahead of the pack with early signing periods coming up, with coaching searches being more competitive, everything. The earlier you can make a move, the better. So I don't hate a midseason change. If you're gonna make a change, make a change early enough where you got some time to get a staff in or potentially have your candidates, settle down. To at the end of November, early December. Because if you're not ready by December 17th or around that early signing day, you're going to be left behind.
You know what? I like that, Blue. I like that a lot. Now listen, I know you're a lot more professional than me. So you're going to say you don't appreciate, you don't like celebrate firings. Now listen, I want to be very clear. When Clarence McKinley is given his walking paper,
oh man,
boy, I'm about to be out here dancing with the stars. Do you feel me? Okay, now I don't know who they're gonna hire, but I'm gonna be dancing with the stars. Like I'm gonna be out there, hey, party at my crib. All right, so you can say that one for yourself, but that's on the blue side. On the blue side, they don't celebrate anybody's firing. On the off script side, oh, we be happy. All right, we be partying in these streets. Okay, what Prince say party like it's 1989. Okay, so but no, this was I think this is way overdue. You're just looking for a spark from UAPB, and BJ said it, I've said it, you said it. Ever since that Alcorn game, this team has never looked the same since that first half of the Alcorn game, and it just backfired off. I mean, it's been going down here ever since. So, they came out 2-0 with 2 wins against North American University and Lane. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. So they was a strong 2-0, but you lose the A&M, you lose the Andrew Body, you lose to, Texas Southern, you lose to Texas Southern. You just kind of pile up these losses and it just starts looking, Southern demolished you. So, we'll see where they go from here, but I'm excited to see what UAPB does and what direction they take it. I hope they kind of listen. If you still want to give the job to Cedric Thomas, that's cool, but just fool us. You know what I'm saying? Just make it look like you want to do a coaching search. You know what I'm saying? I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Also, listen, we got some other breaking news as well. And I don't really know if it's breaking news, but, Jackson State, Good Morning America, per school release from the school, Good Morning America co-anchor Michael Strahan will be filming live from the campus of Jackson State on Friday, October 21st. Let me say this. I'm going to say congratulations to Jackson State. I've done enough counseling. I've been divorced twice. You always start with the good before the bad. So congratulations, Jackson State. Right? That's true. That's
Oh,
true. When
man.
you and your girl ever get married, it's all like just know counseling. You learn some stuff in some counseling, right? So now that I got that out the way, if I was Texas Southern, Michael Strahan has no loyalty. You have no loyalty. The only reason this is happening is because you and Dion's relationship is good. You're both part of SWAC Entertainment. Like, bro, your loyalty is absolutely trash. I don't want to get mean. I'm just going to say that. Okay. Once again, congratulations, Jackson State, to be on Good Morning America. Michael Strahan, you're absolutely trash with your loyalty. That's all I'm going to say right there. What do you got to say?
No, I mean, listen, now it's awesome. Let's just be 100 about it. I mean, the fact that what in 2 weeks they've been on 60 Minutes and now Good Morning America, and then you had the Earn Your Leisure interview not too long ago. Then I mean, it's just like one thing after another that is just piling up. Now, I don't know if I would go as far as like the loyalty, because here's how I would look at it. I graduated from another university. If I had the brand that Michael Strahan had, if the school I graduated from wasn't doing what they need to do to be relevant in the national media, then don't call me asking why you're not in the national media, because I can't do nothing. Like, you got to do your job first. And so I think you got to put it in a little bit of perspective that Jackson State has been lining themselves up for this moment. They got Dion, they got the star power. And listen, let's just be honest. They have one of the best media just collections behind the scene that any school could ask for, especially for a football team. I mean, it is ridiculous. So it's like, how am I going to put Texas Southern on the map when you're not like, man, Good Morning America would probably lose views putting Texas Southern football on there.
Listen, man, you got to do something though. You got to do something. I mean, like, bro, like that's like, to me. And listen, I know a lot of people are like, well, he gives money, he buys helmets and all that type of stuff. Like, once again, like I said, congratulations, right? I want to make that very, I want to keep stressing that fact of congratulations. I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like it. Me personally, I just don't like it's just no loyalty to me.
I just feel like there's a lot of like guilt tripping Michael Strahan, and it's like someone's coming to me, like one of my best friends is selling something, and he's coming to me like, bro, why won't you help me sell this? It's like, bro, you're selling a horrible product. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, why do you want me to help you sell a bad product? It's like, man, if you handle your business, you got a great product, a great brand. Yeah, I'll help you. I'll put you on the pedestal and put you in front of the cameras if I have the ability. But it's like, man, you got to give me something to work with, man.
I just think I don't know, like, because a lot of people are going to say it's not like Michael Strahan does nothing for Texas Southern. So I get that, right? But he hasn't done nearly the same to me, media-wise. Like, okay, the suits should have been at Texas Southern first.
I agree with you on that. No, like, I'm with you on that.
But it's stuff like that to me that, Texas Southern is getting sloppy seconds. But that's without that institution, who would Michael Strahan be? I'm sorry, like, that's the stuff that bothers me. It's like, okay, like good example, right? The guy from Under Armour. Where did he go back to? He went back to Maryland. Maryland hasn't been a football. Maryland is Maryland. Maryland ain't no doing football. But he goes and he reps his school because that's his school. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, it's just I'm not seeing enough loyalty to Texas Southern in regards to his relationship with Deion Sanders. Like, I get it. That's your boy. Y'all in the same company. I get all that. Once again, congratulations. I'm not taking this away from Jackson. They've earned it in their own right. My thing is, bro, can Texas Southern get a little shine? Just a little, like, Jesus Christ.
They got a big shout out on, what was it, the pivot?
Who shouted them out?
I mean, he talked a lot about Texas Southern, didn't he?
Oh, Michael Strahan, he was on the pivot?
Yeah, he was on the pivot and talked. They had like a whole like 20-30 minute segment about his like college experience at Texas Southern and like why Texas Southern and the SWAC and all these like programs need more funding and what needs to happen behind the scenes. So like I mean, he did put them on like a bit of a platform.
Listen, man, I would just, okay, it's just little stuff to me, and I know people gonna call in, especially Mr. Campbell. He's always about money. It's always money. Some things is just like loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, like I just feel like if it has like he needs to have like a Texas Southern pin or something, just always repping. Like you're always in the national media. Like, how are you not repping your people? Like that just bothers me. It's just.
I feel you. Now I got you. I get your point. It's just I don't know what else like he could do. Like I do agree behind the scenes, the suits, uniforms, equipment, all that, but it's just like, bro, like eventually my help only can go so far.
I will respect this. If he did this interview with Texas Southern gear on, okay. Now that's some loyalty to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just fall into the, like, it feels like you're falling into the headlines of Jackson State, which a lot of people are, which is okay. It is what it is, but you still got to be loyal to Texas Southern. That's just me. I'm sorry. That's just the loyalty aspect of me. Like, I be riding with people. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be like, if you my guy, you my guy. And I don't feel like Michael Strahan got the same loyalty. Like, I just don't feel it. But it's teachers on. Once again, congratulations, Jackson State, for being on Good Morning America. Okay. Or I should say Dion, but it's all the same. It's all the same. it's all the same. It's however you want to get. All right, let's get into some week 7 recaps, Blue. Hit us with a couple games that you thought were interesting. FCS, HBCU, wherever you want to start, it don't matter to me.
I'm glad you had another slide. This first slide was just sad. I was just depressed looking at that one. I was like, we're gonna talk about the negative 20 yards that Lynchburg put up on South Carolina State. Like, how do you get held to negative 20 yards in a whole game?
Yeah, it's oh man, listen, it's a money game. It's a money game.
Bro, they had more penalty yards than they had total yards. Like, I just want to put that in perspective for people. But listen, I was really impressed with Delaware State. I do want to say that. When Asias Guthrie transferred, I really thought that was a sign of just the whole team kind of taking a downturn, if that makes sense. I thought the season was kind of being lost with the coaching staff. The players could be feeling some type of way about the trajectory of the program, but they're quietly sitting at 4-2, a win in the MEAC now, convincingly over a Norfolk team who they do have a win over Morgan. So Delaware State right now, especially if South Carolina State gets their doors blown off, which I think is absolutely possible this weekend, Delaware State's sitting there looking at, man, we can finish second in this thing. If things fall into place, especially because I don't think there's a lot of guaranteed wins for anybody in the MEAC except Central right now. And that 2 through 6 range is very, very 2 through 5. I think Howard probably at the back of that. But I was impressed with Delaware State. The quarterback play has really taken an uptick. And it's not even the quarterback we all thought was going to be the guy this year. It came out of nowhere. And so I want to give a big shout out to Delaware State because they have outplayed even my expectations thus far in the season. Now we'll see what they do moving forward. And then the other one, I still wasn't impressed with A&M. I get it. They won. They beat a UAPB team, and it could have been the travel. It could have been the confusion off the whatever you want to say. You got to beat UAPB by more than 3.
Yeah,
you do. I'm sorry. I got higher expectations for that team under Connell Maynard than that. I was disappointed even in the win with Alabama A&M. And man, after you get past, I know you're not impressed with FAMU either, but they already have a win over A&M. 3 through 6 in the SWAC East is just pure chaos.
It's a toss up. It's whoever comes to show up that day. I agree. Listen, it's funny. It's funny that you talk about them because I actually got a call from the coaching staff and they were just telling me some things that they have been going through Because, listen, man, I'm always say this. I think the SWAC does a very disservice about not giving an injury report out for different teams, because we get on here and we talk like, okay, you have insiders from their school, which are guys, 9 times out of 10 guys who have another job who just cover their favorite school or the kid or the school that they graduated from, right? But they don't put out injury reports. So we go into it thinking that they're starters, or whoever we're watching is a starter, and they get the doors blown off of them. We start dragging them, and then you get information from a kid off the team or a coach. Oh, yeah, we're down 6 starters. Oh, this kid's doing surgery, and this kid. I'm like, bro, how am I supposed to know when you guys are so damn secretive? It's like everybody's 007 out here. Like, nobody wants to, like, bro, like, knowing who's injured and who's not injured. Even in the NFL, like they hold it to the last possible minute and they just say doubtful. But at least we as pundits know, or whatever you want to call us. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You call Blue a publication, okay? Call Blue a publication. You can call me whatever you want. But, and then we come on here and we talk. But at the end of the day, we don't even have all the full information because everybody's hogging it. So, listen, I agree. I still think A&M needs to play better. But when I got off the phone with a couple of coaches, I'm like, they hodgepodge in the defensive line. The people that they expected to play are all going, either are hurt or going into surgery, or, what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, dang, like, I wish I could have known. Maybe I would have been a little easier on y'all, but it is what it is.
So I'll answer this question because, I've covered multiple levels. Nobody releases an official injury report, but what happens at bigger colleges, as Scotty just mentioned it, there are 0 beat reporters outside. North Dakota State does have a 247. They got like 3 insiders that cover that team. You have like at Auburn, Scotty, there's a 247 site, a rival site, an On3 site, and a Fly War Eagle for Fansided. There's a bunch of independent guys who have their own sites. There's local media for newspapers and magazines and radio stations. It's like in those press conferences, you probably have 30 different guys that all can ask like 3 or 4 questions. And so you get all the bases covered, because if one person asks about this defensive tackles who's out, the next guy picks it up and asks a question about the cornerback that's out. And so you get those injury updates in the press conferences. But due to the SWAC and a lot of the FCS schools having group press conferences, the time is really shrunk on what you can ask, what the coaches can say. So at Auburn and these Power 5 schools, when Andrew Roberts says, "Coach, give us an opening statement about your team's most recent outing versus blah, blah, blah," the coach for a lot of these Power 5 schools will say, these players are out with injury if they know that it's a significant player that the media needs to understand is out for a significant amount of time. And that's where they'll address it. And then the follow-up questions will kind of fill in the blanks of whoever else is battling injuries. And also a lot of the reporters at the Power 5 FBS level are at practice every day. Well, with a lot of the SWAC reporters, like you just mentioned, they have other jobs. They don't live in the city. They're trying to cover the whole conference remotely. They can't be at the practice and see, quote unquote, let's just say Jarvion Howard didn't practice, or whoever. The only team we can really do that to is Jackson State, because they film everything and there's always people around. But how many people are going to cover UAPB's practice or going to cover Valley's practice or anyone like that? And that's the big difference. It's not just injury reports, but it's also just the access and the abundance of media that really gives that really gives the difference.
Well, and I say this, the crazy thing is a lot of schools play around with their access. Like, they're real picky and choosy who they have in, especially, listen, Jackson State is probably the worst school that does this, but you have other schools that, they play around with their access. Like, you're like, bro, like, what do we need to do to be in? And then if you're not writing anything positive about them, or if you're not doing a positive publication or a positive report, they don't want you around. So what really, what I'm saying? Like, what real information, if it's not slanted towards the school, are you really getting? It's not really unbiased, because let's think about it. Half the Jackson State people that put out all the information, they're alums. They have all allegiance. They don't want to say anything bad about the school. They're not going to say, well, this person had a bad practice and this person did this. They're not going to say that. They're not going to be objective to saying those things. So it's like, when you have schools picking and choosing who they want to give access to because they're like, oh, I don't like this guy, and this guy said something bad about us. And it's like, bro, it's just like, it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So you know what it is.
I mean, there's some people who give access, in the press conference will mention it like, not he won't be there next week, but what was it? Doc Gamble mentioned Skylar Perry's injury. And so I believe I was the first or second question, and I asked him about it. He kind of dodged my first question about kind of what was the injury and how long. And I mean, that's fine. You don't have to give us specifics if you're still trying to figure it out, because he said he was still going to the doctor that day. So I understood that he didn't have that information, but a lot of the times it's just knowing when to ask the proper follow-ups. And it's just, sometimes I feel like, with limited to 2 questions, it's sometimes hard because it's like you want to ask a follow-up, but you would rather, because you want one question. For me, I try to use one question to highlight the week before and then highlight the next game in the second question. So it's like if I had to ask 2 questions about Skylar Perry, then we're not going to get to talk about the next game. So it's sometimes just kind of weighing your options in terms of media on what you want to ask. And also, I mean, because if like Shador got hurt, use your 2 questions for that. That's fine. Like, we need the information. But if it's a player that you're like, okay, they got a good backup, or it's not as a super important player, then I'm just going to leave it at whatever the coach says.
Makes sense. My week 7 review is really simple. It wasn't a lot of good games. I mean, the game that I really want to talk about is Grambling and FAMU. I thought this was a trap game. It almost came down. Listen, one flag could have made this Grambling's first conference win instead of FAMU coming out on top of it. FAMU still looks shaky, and thank you, Lord. I said I was going to bring this up. Somebody said somebody was going to get blown out.
I did.
And I said, Blue, I said, Grambling it's not an easy out. Like, I know a lot of people think they are, but they're not, because they have talent. It just, something always goes awry with the team in the middle of the game. And that's what happened. And I owe you $1 because I did say they was going to win. So I owe you $1. But I just want to be
I need answers on Maurice Washington. That dude must be allergic to see double-digit carries.
So this is what I've been told from somebody close to the program, is that the running back coach has a rotation, and him and Hugh Jackson aren't on the same page. So it's like, the running back coach has a rotation. He's like, I do this, and then Hugh Jackson Hugh's like, put Maurice Washington in the game. So that's where you have the disconnect and why the situation is what it is.
Could you imagine being a player who went there? You were supposed to be the star. Everyone all season talked about the season you could have. Your limited action and like the 8 carries you had in the first 4 games. You had like 3 touchdowns, and your offensive coach and running backs coach don't trust you to have the ball in your hand.
I don't think it's a trust thing. I just think it's like he has a philosophy of a rotation, and that's what he sticks to, which is ignorant. You know what I'm saying?
It kills me.
To me, that's always, coach's ego over, player personnel. That's what that comes down to. But this game was the most interesting to me. And then next, come on. This game was huge. You know what I'm saying? I was in the midst. I was at the Bluff. Oh, you was there too? What are we talking about? We both was there.
I think we were both there.
We were both there. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely love the game. Great atmosphere, great game environment. Listen, I really think Southern left 14 points out in the field in that first quarter. They was rolling. It should have probably been 21 zip in the out of the first quarter alone. But like I said, Alcorn is 60 minutes. It don't matter how the game starts, it's how the game finishes with Alcorn. Because at the end, I thought they had most of the momentum flowing their way, and they just needed a couple plays here and there. And this is a different game, absolutely. So
it was. I feel like Alcorn was caught off. They were caught off guard with what Southern was doing early. Those deep passes, I don't think they were ready at all. That first drive, they came out and just aired it out, and I think Alcorn was like, "Whoa!" I thought we were. I didn't know we could throw like that. I really don't think they expected that from McCray early though. There were just I hate to say this. There were some horrible calls in that game though.
Both ways.
Both ways, but just in key moments. And I hate to see, like, I would rather a ref not call something and just keep the flag in their pocket than throw flags and impact the game in a negative way like that. It seemed like every back call came on like a third, a fourth down in the red zone. There was like every call had a significant impact on the game, and it just killed me. But man, it goes back to what I said last week. I have never seen a player make an impact for a team like Jason Dumas. Even when he doesn't pad the stat box, he gives opportunities to other people. Cam Peterson will go make a play because Dumas took on a double team. Trey Lang will go make a play because Dumas took on a double team. The linebackers are able to get into the backfield and hit those gaps appropriately because Jason Dumas is taking up space in the middle. It's just week in and week out, man, he does his thing. And I understand people who don't watch the game will just look at the stat box and be like, oh man, he isn't that good. He ain't a game changer. He is a hell of a game. Like I saw it firsthand. And standing next to him, he's not the tallest dude at all. That dude is the height is not there, but the size, man, he is a bull in the middle of that defensive line. And also, I got to give the secondary props. The secondary for Southern has some athletes back there that can make a play. Corian Harris has lived up to the hype. And I'm blanking on the other kid that came from Bowie, number 7.
Jordan.
Yeah, I like him too. I really do. I like his length. I like his physicality. And Southern won the game that like they were supposed to. Really and truly at home, you're supposed to win that game. And I just think Alcorn made too many mistakes down the stretch, and especially early. You can't let Southern get off to the start they did and expect to come back and win that game on the road.
Absolutely. And once again, I still think they left a lot of points out in there. For me, is this, Blue. I talked to a coach from a SWAC team, and he said he charts penalties. And when they played that out of conference game, they asked the referees, like, what's the status between like other FCS programs and the SWAC? And he said the SWAC by far leads the FCS in penalty calls. He said by far. It's not. So I mean, when you hear things like that, it's like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? It's tough. I would hate to be a coach dealing with that type of situation. And I'll say this, in the Celebration Bowl, I said this. I said, if there was any other referee, I said, if it was SWAC referees, Jackson wins that game, because the physicality that South Carolina State was bringing would have caused a lot more flags. If you remember the guy they tossed at the kickoff, that's a 15-yard penalty. But a referee understanding the way the game is going and how physical it is, and it's a championship game, they let it go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's play this out. So it's just little things like that you see that can really dictate and shape a game how it would have gone in either direction. But I thoroughly believe if SWAC referees were calling the Celebration Bowl, Jackson State would have been the Celebration Bowl champions. I wholeheartedly believe that. You can't, listen, you can't tell me no different. It just can't tell me no different. But I'm so serious. All right, week 8 matchups, Blue. Anything you're excited FCS wise, HBC wise? Let me know.
Oh man, there's a bunch of good FCS games. I think there's 4 top 25 matchups this week and 2 top 10, 1 top 5 matchup this week. Really excited to see Weber, Montana State. But in terms of the games up here,
wherever you want to take it,
Oh no, man, you can pull that one back up, man. Go back to that first slide right there. This is a game. I know Howard's not very good. This is I hate to say this because it's not a must win in the grand scheme of things, but Delaware State's got to win this game. This is one of those games on the schedule where if you're really serious about competing in the conference, you got to beat Howard, especially with all the momentum they have. I still have some question marks in general because they do have 2 D2 wins on their resume.
Yeah.
A win over Howard will go a long way in being like, okay, they're legit. They've beat Norfolk, they beat Howard, and that's how you get to that second, third place in the MEAC, because I think you already got the win over Norfolk. I don't think anyone else in that conference is really great outside of Central. Delaware needs this one. And also one that you probably don't have up there, Tennessee State versus Eastern Illinois 2 this weekend is going to be a massive game. They did lose, Tennessee State lost to Lane when they were missing a hell of a Jesus Christ, they were missing a lot of starters. They could be 2-0 in the OVC, Scotty, and I think they could win their next few games. Going into that UT Martin game, I would not be surprised if Tennessee State enters that game undefeated in conference play. And then also Hampton, I think they can give Richmond a real good run for their money, especially with Richmond's secondary having some question marks. If they can get the ball to Jadakiss Bonds, do not be surprised if Hampton is in that game and has a chance to knock off a top 20 CAA team this weekend.
Now, how would that? Because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you said Hampton could have gone winless in the CAA.
I thought they could have. Their quarterback early in the season was atrocious. I don't know what happened. If he went to a QB coach all of a sudden, I don't know. But, man, last week he looked legit. He threw like 4 touchdowns and had over 200 yards passing, looked efficient. And in the first 3 weeks of the game, I think he had more picks than he did touchdowns.
Yeah.
And now he's up to 12 touchdowns on the season. He looks so much more comfortable in the offense, and that's all Hampton needed. Their defense has some talent and has played really well this season. It was just, I didn't trust their quarterback, and I didn't know how well they were going to. I just didn't know if they started racking up losses like when they lost to Maine. With a close loss to Maine and them looking at that schedule with how difficult it is, would they just be like, oh man, we got to mail it in. We're not here yet. Well, next year. But man, they went into an overtime game against Albany with a quarterback in Reese, I believe it's Poffenberger, where he's potentially, Scotty, going to win the Jerry Rice Award. I think it's him and Giovanni McCoy right now. They went and won that game in an impressive fashion. I think, and I don't like Richmond. I think that's what this comes down to, Scotty. Outside of Reese Udinski at quarterback, I think they have some holes. Tristan Wheeler is a great linebacker, but outside of that, I don't think they have a lot of game breakers on Richmond. And this is a game where if Hampton can get hot, I do think they can compete.
I like it. I like it. You know, from going. I mean, listen, Hampton. If anybody's from Hampton or Hampton fan, from blue saying you might go winless to now that you might be competitive in the CAA, one of the most.
Oh no! I didn't say they were going to like compete for the CAA title.
No, I'm just saying.
But against a Richmond, that's huge. That's huge.
So I mean, going like you said winless. So anything, listen, anything being competitive is a win. Okay, let's not play this game. So I want all the Hampton fans out there to be very happy. All right, about the optimism of what Hampton can look like and be. The battle of the bottom. Listen, a lot of people might get mad that this game might be on HBCU Go, but the football players, you know what they feeling? Somebody got to win. Somebody got to get a win at the bottom of the bottom, Bethune and Valley. And it's Valley's homecoming. And listen, we talked about it in the spaces. I think Valley can come out with the win simply because of the field. Listen, that Valley field takes away 6 points. All right. Bethune has a hard time scoring anyway. Okay. And if you think you run a 4-4 on that Valley field, you run a 5 flat. It just is what it is. They understand how it works. Bethune does not. I think Valley comes up with the I would say this is an upset. I think I would go with Bethune as the favorite. So yeah, I would definitely go as Valley of the upsets in this one. And I think you're going to see Caleb and Jamari get loose. Somebody said this in the chat. I really do think that Valley should go to a triple option. I really believe that should be the style of play. I think, don't get me wrong, I love Ja'Cory Rankin. I think he's special for his size, but they just don't have the quarterbacks to make that kid look as good as he should be. But I definitely think they should go to a triple option.
I agree.
All right, another game of the week. Kofi's game of the week. NCCU, South Carolina State. What do you got on this one, Blue?
I got Central winning by at least double digits. I get it. It's Buddy Pugh. No disrespect to him or his team. Amazing coaching staff. They got some talent. It's just I have not seen a single thing on the field, Scotty, outside of hype off of what they did last year to say that they're going to compete with Central right now. I just haven't seen it. With the quarterback play, with zero rushing game, is how are they going to move the football? Do you trust them to score? Because I don't care how good you say or anyone says South Carolina State's defense is, Central scoring minimum 24 points this weekend. Do you trust South Carolina State to put up 24?
Oh no, I don't trust them. I barely trust them to put up 10.
That's what I'm saying. They're averaging like all barely 20 points a game. I know that was bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably reading the chat, but yeah, 20 points per game, Scotty, this year. It is horrible. And so I think Central with Davis Richard, with Latrell at running back, with number 22, I think it's Andrew Smith at wide receiver. With that defensive line played a hell of a game last week. What is his name? Mansfield or something like that. Number 0 at the defensive tackle spot. Give me Central by double digits this weekend over South Carolina State. Until they get a quarterback, I can't pick them to win this game.
This game is in Orangeburg. Listen, it's the offense. It simply comes down to the offense for me. I think South Carolina State I still think they're a tough defensive team. They're not what they were last year. I still think Jablonski Green's a stud. I still think BJ Davis is pretty good. Corner's a little shaky, but defensively, and their defensive coordinator, they're going to come to play. That offense, Jesus Christ.
It's so bad.
It is so bad.
What happened to Kendrell Flowers?
It's honestly, it's not him. It's how they use him. Like, because I think people get really enamored with that inside zone read. People love that play. And if you have guys that shoot gaps really well and have great penetration, I mean, you're not the Denver Broncos where he gets a backside cut. I mean, he's going down. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see him with a fullback or a tight end lead through so he could have the opening in space to really see it. And then when you have somebody like Corey Fields who can't throw the ball, well, I'm definitely going to load the box. You know what I'm saying? And then as long as you keep somebody over top of Shaq Davis, that kind of neutralizes what he likes to do, which is go deep and, take the ball off the top of your head. So, I think I agree with one of the comments. I think State's going to be up for this game. I really do. I still don't think it's enough. If NCCU is good as we think they are, they should win this game by 3 touchdowns.
Agreed.
If they're as good as we think they are, and they're as dominant as they think they are, they'll take an ugly win. I just won't allow that ugly win. They'll take an ugly win, 10 points, 7 points, 3 points. They'll take it.
Get out there with the win. A road win in Orangeburg is a win, regardless of what it looks like.
However you want to take it, I get it. But if they want to be those that top echelon, it's no less than 2 touchdowns. No less than 2 touchdowns.
Because when I look at Central this year, the only game that they've looked vulnerable was Campbell, and South Carolina State is not built like that. They cannot run the football like that. They don't have the offensive line size like that. And so how do they take advantage of Central? Because if I'm Central, 4-man front, I'm putting 8-9 in the box and daring you to throw the football. Because, yeah, you got Shaq Davis, but is Corey Fields going to throw it within 3 feet of him? I don't know. I'm taking that chance.
If I'll say this, if NCCU goes to that 3-3-5, Kendra might get off.
It could be. That's a horrible defense. As an offense, I'm so biased as I was an offensive lineman. 3-3-5, I just drool thinking about it as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think he could get off. I really do, because they're, like you said, they're not built like Campbell, and I think NCCU is built for a lot more speed rushing, not power rushing. But if that game looks a little funny and Kendrell can control the tempo and control the time of possession, that game could look a lot different than what people think, because as long as South Carolina State is kicking field goals, they're going to play defense. Now that's what they will play some defense. So if it's 7-3, 10-6, and that game, you know what I'm saying? Like, they stay close. And listen, Shaq Davis is going to make one play. He's good for one. It's just, if you're losing 35 and he gets you 7, that don't mean much. But if it's 10-6 and Shaq makes a play, now we're talking about a whole different game. So, I mean, Shaq gonna give you one. You know what I'm saying? So, if they keep it close, it's a toss-up. But I got it by 3.
If you're South Carolina State, the goal should be to keep this in the low 20s. If NCCU hits 28 to 30 points, it's a wrap. You're not winning the game.
No, not even close. Unless Corey Fields is playing out of his mind. Yeah,
if he has a Celebration Bowl type game, that's it.
That's the only way this game is even competitive. No lie. All right, you already know. Alcorn and Southern with my boy Andrew Buddy. Okay. I'm going Texas Southern. It's not even a question. Okay. It's not even a question. Like, come on. It's Texas Southern all the way.
No, it's no chance.
No,
Alcorn's running away with this one.
no chance.
No.
What is no chance, Blue? Because give me the points. Because whatever you're about to say right now, I'll take the points.
I don't know. I don't listen. I didn't cover this game. I'll be go Alcorn by at least 10.
I'll take those points for $1. I
got you. I'll take Alcorn by 10. That's a big point spread too.
I know.
Giving it to.
I'm taking it.
Listen, I love you, Miss Body. I love you, Miss A. Like, you were amazing. I'm sorry, man. It's got to be Alcorn. I just, Scotty, I don't trust Texas Southern to slow down Jarvion. I just don't. And I don't trust him to slow down Nico. I think Alcorn's going to come out there. They played a tough physical game. They feel like they should have won it. I've talked to Coach Fred and some of them. They're going to try to run the ball down Texas Southern's throat. And also, the other key is, outside of Drake Centers at that tackle spot, I do think Alcorn's going to be able to get pressure on Andrew. And the way with how aggressive and dynamic that front seven is for Alcorn, I think they're going to be able to get Body out of the pocket and make him really uncomfortable and force some turnovers. I think that makes a difference for Alcorn this weekend.
You know, I'll say this, right? This is my thing. I really believe that people are sleeping on Texas Southern and how they've progressed defensively, right? Like, from PV to now, they're not as bad as they were with the run defense. They've been getting better. I think you can listen. I want to be very clear about this. I'm not saying they have Southern's front four. I'm not saying that.
I would hope not.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that at all. Okay, I want to be very clear. What I'm saying is they can take the same philosophy as how Southern loaded the box and left man-to-man outside. And because you got Zay, so you feel real good over there.
That's the problem. That's the problem for me. Their best player is Zay. So he texted me, Scotty, and I've already asked him. He's cool with me saying this. He asked me to look up his coverage grade. Zay is top 20 in the country in coverage grade, number 1 by far in the SWAC right now. There's a coverage grade. The problem is, Alcorn don't care about throwing the football. They're going to run the football, and Zay's going to be out there on an island and wonder why the ball ain't hit the air yet.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one, Blue. That is a good one. But then add another Bama in the box, because now I don't have to worry about the safety over top. I'm gonna let Zay play on this island by himself. We can shift everything over to the right-hand side. We can load the box. Listen, man, it's about closing gaps and making tackles. As long as you listen, Texas Southern, okay? Don't go high on the purple rhino. Go low, okay? Knees, shins, and ankles. That's how you stop people who run the ball away. Wrap the legs. Don't try to wrap the legs. Can't go nowhere without no feet. All right. But my thing is this. Andrew Body, if listen, I still think Clarence McKinley should be fired, and David Marsh. They should have been fired.
He said even with the win. Even with the win.
They should still be fired. But you got to let Andrew Body cook. Him and Ladarius Owens have got to be in sync. And these receivers have to catch balls. No homo. All right? They got to catch when they get targeted. They got to come down with these catches, because a lot of times I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. It'll be a walk-in touchdown, and these Bama's dropping the football. You got to catch the ball.
Morton's a stud, though. I want to say that. Morton at wide receiver has a lot of potential.
I love Derek Morton. I love Derek.
He's a stud. And then also, who's the other running back? Because they got another kid leading and rushing for Texas Southern right now. It's not Owens.
It's Howard. It's Ja'Cory. I think it's Ja'Cory something. It's Ladarius, and it's another kid. They got 3 kids.
Yeah, and the third one I think is the leading rusher, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they got a whole like running back room that's loaded. And this is a huge game for Andrew Body, to be honest. If Andrew can go out here and put on a show, then that's gonna go a long way in just terms of his perception moving forward. But the other thing is that this is a must-win for Alcorn. If you lose this game at home on the reservation for homecoming after you just lost to Southern, I have a lot of questions moving forward. Then also, Zay, We've talked offline about this. This is a film game. I need you, if CJ Bowler suits up this weekend, which I think he's supposed to, I need you on him every single play. I don't care where he lines up. I want to see Zay on Bowler every single play. I need him to travel this weekend.
I like it. I love it. All right, let's get to it. We'll talk some keys, and then we'll go into some film breakdown. After the film breakdown, Blue has made his pick. He'll probably say his pick again, and we'll take some calls. All right, so call lines will be open. Let me get this thing open so I don't interrupt you when you're going.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
I just want to be very clear. I'm going to come back home with an Andrew Body picture. Maybe even an autograph. I just
you gotta wear the hoodie to the game, even if it's 1,000,000 degrees.
Listen, Miss Body's making me a new custom hoodie for the game.
Let's go. Okay.
So it is what it is. But all right, Blue, matchups, keys, talk a little bit about it. Give your film breakdown, go into your score and why.
Yeah, I mean the key for Campbell on the offensive side of the football is you got to run the ball. If they can't have 150 to 175 on the ground, zero chance to win this game. Like, you cannot put this on Haj Malik. And then also your offensive line has to establish the line of scrimmage. If you allow Devontae Davis, Niles Gaddy, Katron Evans, True Thompson, all these guys to play in your backfield, it's going to be an extremely long day. And keep fresh bodies in at the running back room. You have a deep running back room. It's 3 deep. With Nakari Rogers to a Bryant Barr, even Haj Malik in the read option, they've shown that on film as well. Keep fresh legs in the backfield at all times because you're going to need it. Because guess what? Jackson State's going to have fresh legs in that front 7 consistently because they rotate a lot, especially on the defensive line. And then use Jackson State's aggressiveness against them.
I love it.
You have to listen, whether it's delays, whether it's counters, take them upfield, make big holes. And there's a few run plays. You know, I didn't grab a bunch of clips, but there's a few where you could see North Carolina Central got overly aggressive pursuing the ball carrier, and it left some back end holes that they were able to make big plays out of. And then for Jackson State, it's just on offense, play your game. Expose the matchups that you need to expose and stick to your game. Put the ball in your best player's hand, which is Shador Sanders. Let him do his thing. You are loaded you're loaded at wide receiver. Get Willie Gaines involved. Get Shane Hooks involved. Get Malachi. Get whoever involved. Just play your game. And then also protect Shador. If Shador is getting beat down this game, we already know what's going to happen, Scotty. We saw it at Alabama State. He forced some balls and he has some turnovers. And he had some very uncharacteristic throws against Bethune-Cookman. I don't know what he was doing that one pass. It just sailed on him.
Yeah,
I don't know where he was throwing it, what he was thinking. Can't have that happen this game. Extra possessions for a run-first team like Campbell leads to a time of possession difference that is going to be hard to overcome. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it's just force the ball into Haj Malik's hands and trust your corners. That's it. We saw what William and Mary did. They were able to get pressure on Haj Malik, and their corners were able to make plays. Jalen Jones had, I think, 3 picks that game, had a pick 6 that game. That's the key. And then also, Scotty, I know you watched the William and Mary game. Reverses and counter plays work really well against Campbell's defense. And I don't know if you remember, they ran an early reverse pass where they handed off to the running back. He tossed to the wide receiver, tossed it back to the quarterback, wide open. Then they scored on another reverse later in the game just because Campbell was over pursuing because William and Mary ran the ball so much. I really do wonder if Jackson State's going to run some sort of thing because they have the athletes to do it. Do you see some sort of reverse trick plays, kind of something to get Campbell's eyes moving in the backfield? Those are my keys to the game, man, for right now.
For me, I would love to see Kevin Coleman on a trick reverse, like an option reverse. I always love option reverses where the guy splits the quarterback and the backer coming in and he flips the ball up and he takes it the other way. I always love those. For me is this. I'm gonna give for Campbell is staying ahead of the chains. Listen, the Jackson State reminds me of a team like the Cowboys, the Eagles, like they want you in long down and distances so they know they can come get you. There's no question. We want to use our speed to come get you because you won't have enough time to make a pass. You have to stay ahead of the chains. 2nd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Like you got to stay in that range in those late down and distances to make this game in your favor. For Jackson State, it's really just do what you've always done because you're favored. I mean, to me, nothing about Campbell's defense is like, ooh, like I love Rozier, but nothing about that defense. Brevin Allen, I think he's a great individual player, but I mean, I don't think he's Von Miller. I mean, I don't think he's Michael Parsons. Like he can wreck a whole game, but if you don't block him and he feels he can keep beating your tackle, then you're going to be in for a long day because you guys don't believe in chipping. So that's just that takes away. If you go 4 wide, how you going to chip him? You know what I'm saying? With the running back, you use him in your flare concept. So how's that going to work? So, you know what I'm saying? If Brevin Allen becomes that guy for them, man, I would just say put the game in Malik. I agree. When I watch Malik Hodge outside of his feet, he throws a pretty decent deep ball. He's just too antsy for me. He's like a kid in a candy store where he'll bring his eyes down too fast and he wants to find the lane to run. And I'm like, bro, the pocket's fine. Just throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that. And, that's just my little 2 keys. I think you went in depth for a lot of them. But, go into some of the film that you have, and then I'll break down some of the film that I see from Jackson State defensive side.
Also, tackling for Jackson State. I'm going to show it on the clip. Tackling's huge. But, right, so listen, Flow Sports, I hate you so much. Do you know how hard it was to get clips of William and Mary? Like, it is ridiculous. But so this tackle right here, 77, may or may not play this weekend.
I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah, so I heard it was game time decision potentially, but we'll see. But you're going to see here, the defensive end he's going up against, Scotty, is All-American Nate Lynn. Pius is over here, number 8, going up against 75. But just watch how fast Lynn gets off the ball here and just beats him to the punch. Woo! No chance. If Niles Gaddy can get upfield like that, and he forced him up in the pocket, and that was it. If Jackson State's defensive ends can get up in the pocket like that and force Haj Malik to step up into the True Thompsons, the Devontae Davises, no shot. And you got to be disciplined when you get to the quarterback like that. And then right here, you see again, the pocket's going to collapse on him so fast. And when he escapes, Scotty, we talked about this last night with G. The circling back around and retracing is big.
Yeah.
If you watch the guy up top right here, watch how well he retraces. He gets past him. Haj Malik steps up. Look at him chase him down right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow him. And that's John Pius, by the way. That's the kid who's probably going to win the Buck Buchanan this year. He retraces so well. Nate Lynn was there. If Jackson State can stay disciplined in their rush lanes, and when you see the quarterback get past you, circle back and make sure Haj Malik doesn't go. Listen, Niles Gaddy has a little bit of speed. Doyle has a little bit of speed. If you can get Haj Malik before he gets up to full acceleration, it's gonna make your day a whole lot easier. And then right here, it's just the blocking. Listen, y'all thought I was gonna bring film and not talk about the O-line. Watch just the push they get down. So Scotty, what they're gonna do is try to push the whole defensive line down toward the bottom of the screen, and then they're gonna bring this H back right here and kick out this top guy, and it's over. And just look at the push they get. Everything up the middle gets cleared out. The H-back hits his block, and it's off to the races. And this is why I say tackling. There's one guy he has to beat when he gets out of the hole. He dives at his feet, can't get there, and it's to the house. Small things like that are going to get you beat this weekend if you miss the tackle. Again, Brevin Allen, you said, he's good. His biggest asset is 1, his size, and 2, his get off the ball. He's going to be up at the top of your screen here on the defensive line. Watch how fast he gets across the face of that offensive tackle.
Listen,
and he's in the backfield.
That dude, if he gets you in his sights going downhill, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
And the number one thing is an offensive tackle when you're running a play like that, Scotty, because I know you didn't play offensive tackle. You cannot get beat across your face like that. If you take a step and the dude beats you across your face like that at the defensive end spot, you're getting benched. You cannot get beat across your face, and that's going to be the biggest test for these offensive tackles for Jackson State is Brevin and the other guy. I know I heard your live stream or with Mike on the breakdown. The other defensive lineman you got to watch is Josh Johnson. He's the one that had the big game against Central and had I think he had 2 sacks in that one. He's number 1. He's going to be the other defensive end, a graduate transfer for them. And then again, looking at this offense, this is in goal line, and this is where Campbell scores all the time. Their red zone efficiency. I just want you to watch the 3 offensive linemen here, and then this guy's just going to kick out here. Look at the push.
Ooh, look at that wall. Look at that seam.
A complete wall. If Jackson State gets moved off the spot like this, it's going to be disgusting. They wall it up. This guy is going to get pushed down by the tight end. The H-back comes and kicks out the cornerback, and he's walked in for a touchdown. And then right here again, watch. Hit. This is what I was talking about with Jackson State paying attention in the backfield. If Haj Malik pulls it, I want you to watch the corner out here in the open field, Scotty. Look how hard he bites. Why are you there?
Yeah.
You are the last defense on the edge. If Nugget, if Travis, if those corners get too focused on coming to help inside, Haj Malik is going to pull one of those, and then it's off to the races because he has the speed to get there. That can't happen again. Offensive line here. Just look at the hole, and then watch the missed tackles. You cannot have that. They're big running backs, Scotty. Bryant Barr is like 6'1", 220. One-on-one, you have to make a tackle, and then that turns into the game-ending touchdown, man. So my biggest things on film, the offensive line, you cannot let them build a wall, wash you out, and get kicked out with that H-back, because if they hit the hole, they're going for 6, especially if the DBs don't make the tackle. So Devontae Davis, money-making game for him. Tron Evans, True Thompson, Niles Gaddy, big games. DN circling back, retracing, not letting Haj Malik get loose, and disciplined by the linebackers in their gaps and run defense, and also paying attention to the backfield and not letting Haj Malik get free. Because if they're playing man-on-man on the outside, Scotty, Aubrey and whatever linebackers at the mic, it's going to be their job to make sure Haj Malik doesn't get out of the pocket and hurt him with his legs.
I love it, Blue. I love it. I'm gonna take a different outlook. I'm gonna go JSU defense, right? And what I want to show you here is just how, because the same formation right here is that you'll see from Alabama State is the same kind of formation you'll see from Campbell, right? So if we run this player forward a little bit, right? This is the part I want you guys to see, right? This is what you're probably going to see from JSU. Now it's Gaddy outside, these guys outside. So understandably, you're going to have Julian Hill either kicking out over here or have this guy kick out and pull up through here and then have this guy run straight through. You're going to see a lot of those in the. If I just want to see how, I want to show you how JSU a line is when it comes to that. You see, now this is what you cannot have. If this happened against Alabama State, you can't have this against Campbell. And that's the issue. What I'm saying is, based off their alignment, you're going to get stuff like this because of how they're just set up naturally, right? But once again, they're so fast, they get off their blocks, they rally to the point of attack, and you have a 2-yard gain. All right, once again, the same formation you'll see from Campbell. This is a 3-down look, right? You just have a linebacker or a walk-up guy, but this is technically a 3-3-5 if you want to keep it like that, because there are 3 down guys right here. All right. So as we run this play forward, look at this. Look at the push, right? You have this push from the double team. Now, once I keep saying, this is Alabama State. This isn't Campbell. But trust me, they can do the same exact things, and you have Ja'Cory Merritt, or I think this might be Santo Dunn, hit this gap right here, and you're getting 7-8 yards a pop. That's why Blue always says, listen, if you're in a 3-3-5, in a 3-3-5 look, these guards, it's easy money for these guards all day, because all they're doing, and Blue, correct me if I'm wrong, they're touching here to let this guy get a stable block. They're going to go here, and then they're moving up here. Yeah. Is that how that works? Or they can,
you make sure your first level is secure. Like if your guys got them, give them a little hand, and as soon as it's time to hit the linebacker, you got to get there, because if the linebacker beats you to your spot, And then that's a big problem, man. Because the linebacker beats you to the hole, then your running back's going to run into a wall, and you're not going to get much.
Hey, but Blue, watch how this tight end right here. And listen, Julian's a way better blocker than this guy. Trust me. Look how he settles on this block, right? He gets there just to hold him up, and still moves up to the backer for the double team. Nice. That's just.
I will say Devontae had a hell of a play. It was just that other side didn't play. Like Devontae did his job, really, like taking up space. And I mean, watch how he just blows up that center right there. If he gets a hand on the running back, it's a wrap. It was just the running back hit the hole a little too fast. So, man, Devontae is going to be huge this game. It's just, can the DNs help him out at all?
We'll see. We shall see. All right. So you have that aspect of the defense moving forward as well. Listen, this is what you're going to see a lot of, right? You're going to see a lot of Jackson State coming, and this is still a 3-3-5 because there's 3 down linemen or whatever, but they're just filling up the gaps. This is what you're going to see a lot of when it comes to Jackson State against Campbell. I believe if it's not in the 4, or I'm going to show you another look that you're going to see a lot of as well. But you're going to see a lot of this. Why? Because all they want to do is wall this up. They want this running back to stutter his feet to make him decide instead of just hitting it hard and going. They want to see it stutter, and then they believe they're fast enough to get there before he gets his feet moving. But this is what I want you to see, though. If this is Malik Hodge and he's gone and he keeps this ball, you see, like, it's little things like that you got to understand. Campbell just does a little bit better than your Alabama States or your Valleys or those type of things because they believe in the running the ball and they believe in their system. But you're going to see a lot of that flushing, right? I want to show you this. Now, this is what I think you're going to see mostly throughout the game is this 4-2-5 look. Right? You're going to see a lot of this 4-2-5 look, have 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and I like this style. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Campbell come out in this stack, because if I got Julian Hill right here and he's making this block and I get my freshman or whoever I want, I trust Julian to make this block right here, hold him up, and then make a move, because all you're looking for when it comes to Jackson State is you're looking for the one-on-ones. That's all you can ask for, is that, hey, I am looking for the one-on-ones so I can get an opportunity. Come on, man. Look at this, Blue. This is all you're looking for. He just drops it. This is all you can ask for. That's
a terrible throw, too, by the way. On a screen.
It's Jalen Jones. Anyway. Right?
I got you. I know. I feel you. That's terrible.
But, this is all you're looking for. This is all you're asking for. If you can ask your tight end, your big tight end, to make this block, and you get a guy and you make – listen, this is 7 to 8 yards. I'll take this. You know what I'm saying? I will take this any day of the week. But he drops it, doesn't get what he could. But that's all you can really ask for when it comes to a play like that. All right, moving forward. Let me see. It should be coming up. Once again, the same thing. Now, what happens is they spread it out a little bit more. Right, so there's still a 4-2-5. You still have the 4 down lineman right here. Oh, my bad. I'm on the wrong screen. All right, you still got this 4. You still got these 4 down linemen right here. And what do? I'm telling you, it's there. If Campbell wants it, if they set it up right, it's there. All right, because at the end of the day, all you're looking for is the opportunity to move the chains, right? How Shedeur does it passing is all Campbell wants to do is get 4-5 yards a pop. They don't need the home run hitter every time. They just know, if I keep hitting you for 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, you're going to break sooner or later, and it's going to come open, and that time of possession gets more and more and more and more.
Because Campbell runs that a lot. Maybe not the stack look necessarily. They run a lot of bunch and things like that. They're going to throw screen passes. Yeah. I know people keep saying, "Oh man, you can't run on Jackson State. You can't do this." They're going to try it. That's their offense. That's where Haj Malik is most comfortable. And what Mentor has talked about and what the OC's talked about in the interviews that they've had is that they trust their athletes with the best of them. And you could say that Jackson State has better athletes. That's fine. I'm not going to disagree with you, but on that's how they look at their team, Scotty. They do, and they think that with Miles and with some of those wide receivers they have, because they have a lot of experience at wide receiver, they feel like they have the athletes they trust one-on-one in the open field, and that's how it is, man. I don't know. I just don't like the screen pass against JSU. Anything that makes you hesitate and gives Jackson State a chance to play to their strength, which is the speed of pursuit, I just feel like that puts you in a bad position.
You know, I would usually agree with you, but it's how you set it up, right? So let me go back to this. I wouldn't do a screenplay with this, right?
No,
you see
definitely
what I'm saying?
not.
Like this is what I wouldn't do with Jackson State, because when you have a guy here, when you have a guy here and then a guy here, and you're trying to throw this bubble, well, then they can just come on down and shoot the gap. But when you stack them, one person plays the press, one person plays off, just in case if they actually run a route. You see what I'm saying? So they have to be looking for that route concept. That's why this front guy, it actually works best, because this guy knows he has to block. Let me go back to that stack play, right? The reason this works so well is because this guy knows he has to block. He has to block that guy. There's no stock blocking. There's no nothing. I just got to get it. And see, this is an easy read, right? If you see these guys are too far out, I don't throw this. I run it, because the box is light. You see what I'm saying? The box is light. So if I see this is a light box. He's going to go out here, and this is one-on-one with this guy. I'll take that every time. So it's just little things like that. But I really like these stack plays that Bethune ran, because if you're going to keep the box loaded, which I believe they will with Campbell, and you have this one-on-one matchup right here where this guy knows he has to block this guy, I'll take that. Especially if this is my tight end, Julian Hill, I'm definitely taking that over anybody. Anybody in the secondary, I'll take Julian Hill blocking them before and making this play work than I would for anybody else.
And you made a good point, though, about just Jackson State wants to cause chaos in the box, and what that does, especially when you have a team as fast as Jackson State, is if the running back hesitates, you said they trust their athletes and they say they got enough speed to get there. The scary part is they do. That's the terrifying part, is when it looks like that. If he doesn't get outside, it could be a problem. It really can be, because they got a lot of speed at the defensive end spot, the linebacker spot, and Jackson State, their flow to the football, man, is just amazing to watch, and I love it. Absolutely.
Like this is where you don't want to be caught up when it comes to Jackson State, right? When they can seal you, but this is the thing though, Blue. It's twofold, right? Because if I catch you in this, and I can slide all this way. If I can push it all this way and I have something designed to come back this way, I won. I caught you, I caught you in a slant. I caught you, I sealed this off, but it's only if it's only good if it works. You're a genius when it works, but when it don't, you're not as good as you think you are. 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124. Somebody says show Jackson State offense. Now, listen, man.
I got you. The reason we didn't cover Jackson State, bro, there's 500 plus people watching across the two channels. Every single one of y'all in the chat has watched every single Jackson State game. Y'all, it's obvious what they got to do. They're going to spread you out. They're going to trust Shador, and then Wilkerson's probably going to have 15 to 20 carries. It's simple what they got to do to win. They're the favorite. For me, I brought the Campbell film because everyone in the chat's probably watched 2 Campbell games, maybe 1, and that was a Central game. So I wanted to kind of break down what they have to do. When you're the favorite, like everyone here has watched so much Jackson State film that there ain't nothing we could tell y'all about what Jackson State's offense is going to do
that you haven't seen or that you haven't known for yourself. So let's not do that. 7396 coming to you.
Hey, Scotty, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Scotty, I want to give you your flowers. I want to tell you a quick story if you got time.
I got time.
Scotty, my daddy was a real JSU Tiger. He was class of 1977. He was there during the Walter Payton days. My daddy was a season ticket holder. He never missed a Jackson State game since 1977. Scotty, my daddy passed away Tuesday, and this is the first game he's ever gonna miss in Jackson since 1977. He put me on to you, Scotty, and he said, "Man, there's a guy on YouTube, man. He everything HBCU. He everything HBCU. You should check him out. You should check him out." And Scotty, my daddy was a subscriber of yours since day one. And I just want to give him his flowers and tell him, Walter, from Jackson State, class of 77, Pops, we love you. And Pops, we miss you. And Scotty, I just want you to keep going, Scotty, because you never know who you would touch, Scotty. My daddy, last couple of days, he was in the hospital. You kept him entertained. He would watch you on his phone, Scotty, and you kept him entertained. And I just want to say thank you, Scotty, and just pray for the family. Scotty, we love you, man. And you're going to be bigger than YouTube one day, Scotty. You never know who you touch, man. Just keep on going, Scotty. And I'm going to end it with that.
Hey, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Bless you, Scotty. Bless you.
Oh, man, appreciate you. I didn't think it was going to start off like this. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Jesus freaking Christ, man. Oh, shoot. Man, I wasn't trying to get up here. Come on, man. Jesus, man. Thank you so much. Listen, I got your number. I'm going to text you after the show. Whatever I can do, whatever me and my family can do to donate to whatever needs to happen, you know, flowers and arrangements, please. And if you got a Cash App, please give it to us. We have no problem putting that on the channel and doing that as well. Oh, my Jesus. Who is cutting onions? Babe, you cutting onions? Man, man, wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really, man. Hey, caller, you live.
Yo, God bless his last caller, this caller, prayers to him and his family. It's kind of hard to follow that up. This is Calvin from Jackson. I ain't working tonight. 2 nights in a row, I'm going to take my wins. I'm going to say this. See, I'm going to try to make it lighter. See, all Jackson State fans don't hate you, man. Maybe just about like 85% of them.
No, I hate all of them.
Anyway.
I can't stand it. Except his dad. His dad's cool with me. His dad was cool with me, but the rest of them Bamalas, nah, I can't stand them. Can't stand them.
Hey. I'm a Jackson State fan, man. Chill. Come on, still down some potholes over there. About this game, hey, Blue, got a question. How do you grade Hampton's performance this year?
Okay, so based on what everybody, everybody was expecting, right now, man, I got to give him a B+, A-.
What? Not my boy Blue.
That could change. They still got some big games on the schedule. If Richmond goes out there and beats them by 40, we'll have a different conversation next week. But man, I really didn't see more than 2 wins on the schedule, and they're sitting at 4-2 right now. So I give them their props, man. They've done what they needed to do.
Was that the right move for them?
Time will tell. Listen, man. Hindsight's always 20/20, but the way the Big South is moving right now, listen, the CAA is going to be a hell of a conference moving forward. I mean, listen, when you got A&T coming, Campbell coming, now you got Hampton, Monmouth joined, Delaware's looking great. You got William and Mary, Richmond, Elon, all competing in terms of the top 25. The conference looks stronger than ever. That Flow Sports deal, thank God, is going to end here in the next year or two. I'm excited to see what they do in terms of a TV contract. So I do think Hampton made the right move, even though a lot of people are going to hate on it.
A script. Is this game Bethune versus Valley the battle of who's next on the chopping block?
Ooh, that's a damn good question. Because listen, if I'm Bethune-Cookman and they lose, Terry Sims got to go. Listen, this is on the off-script side, because the off-script side, we celebrate the fire of the coaches over here. On the Blue publication side, they real professional. You know what I'm saying? It's like, around here between Norm, Knee, and Weston. Okay, so
Scotty drops a diss track on all the coaches on their way out. I give him like a nice party ways present with like a nice article about like what maybe could have happened if things would have went differently. It's two different approaches over here. So I give them their present. Scotty, trips them on the way out the door.
And last question before I go, picture the call lines filling up. So more of a statement. I know how showing that film there, and I know we both saw how Devontae Davis is just whooping that center for Alabama State. I don't expect it to be that bad for Campbell, but I expect him to grade out better than he is gonna have a failing grade. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
If Jackson State's whole goal is, you got to react. It ain't just, what I'm saying? If they make you think, they make you delay, they make you wait, it's a win for Jackson because they're too fast defensively. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you see the hole, hit the hole, bam. You know what I'm saying? It's you're going to get your yards because once you get past the backers, you know what I'm saying, it's you in the safety, and the safety shallow. Sometimes he'll knock your bill off, sometimes he'll miss the tackle.
That's fair.
As far as, but I'm not, like I said, people talking about Jackson offense. I'm not really worried about Campbell's defense. Jackson offense going to do what they do, or they're going to get to Shador. So it's, it is what it is. But Jackson State's still going to win. I got him about 3 touchdowns.
All right, man. Appreciate the call. Listen. I like that. He said exactly when they fired is blue when they. That's a good one, D-Dog.
Man. Yeah, I got to give him a shout out for that one. That was funny.
That was good. That's good. Listen. I don't think people understand how impactful Devontae Davis is. I really think that people overlook him a lot. And it's because he doesn't do all the sexy stuff. You know what I'm saying? He ain't Warren Sapping him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so crazy swim. He's doing his job by not allowing to get pushed and moved. And he's like, don't expect to do nothing up the gut. That just is hard. Like them dives on the 2 and the 1, like, you ain't doing like if you know the holes is 1, 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 2, 4, 6. You ain't doing nothing on the 1 or the 2. All right. And a trap block with Devontae Davis, you're not doing it. Or they call it a wham block. Is it a wham block when you let the guy come up and the guard?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes by a bunch of different names, but yeah, I mean, whatever you want to call it. But I agree, and people forget because True Thompson has to wait. Katron Evans is just a mountain of a man to be his age too. Devontae Davis is doing this when really, like, bro, he really isn't like an oversized defensive tackle, to be honest with you. And just his explosiveness and just his physicality, Scotty, is something that you can't teach. You got to come with it. And I love his mindset. And I get it. People who haven't played O-line, defensive line, the defensive tackle is always overlooked unless it's an Aaron Donald or Warren Sapp. And those are generational type talents. But when you're looking for a consistent defensive tackle who could play that you would take 10 times out of 10, it's Devontae Davis, just because he's consistently doing his job. He's just not padding the stat box. And that's why he is so impactful for Jackson State, but nobody gives him the shine that he deserves, in my opinion.
We do.
Oh, yeah. That's why he was on my all-conference list. He deserved all-conference.
Listen, I kept saying to everybody, everybody's like, oh, Scotty, what about Niles Getty? Scotty, what about Doyle? What about players? I said the best player on that front line is Devontae Davis. I said you got a stud and a bunch of guys. That's what you got. You got a guy, a man's man, and a bunch of guys. And it's not to say the bunch of guys can't play, because they can play, but they ain't that guy. Okay? They just not that guy. And when you have a guy who demands most times double teams, especially if your center can't hold, like, you got to understand when Devontae plays with the power, you know how hard a center has to snap and hold that man, like sit on that. Come on, man. It's not easy. Man, when a guy's coming full speed ahead like Devontae and you got to snap and hold, man, stop it. That takes a special ability for real. 1027 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, Scotty. Hey, Blue. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Are we giving Southern the keys to the West? Is it their conference to lose now, or is there any hope for PV to pull this thing together and win the West?
So, I like that you asked that question. BJ actually had a great breakdown in the spaces on Tuesday. He said PV has the best schedule to back in their way to the SWAC championship because they have the easiest schedule to close. Southern has to either beat Jackson or FAMU to solidify their chances to get to the SWAC championship, and they need Alcorn to lose again. For me, if I'm being a whole buck right now, if that game was not at FAMU, I have Southern by 2 touchdowns. Like,
I mean, the way FAMU was looking, I don't even know even if they're at home, they still don't look great. Like, their last outing at Grambling was not supposed to look like that at all if they're claiming to be what they're claiming to be this year. Because they were saying once they got all their players back, once they got everything situated with, all the distractions, there's no more distractions now. So what is it?
I mean, what did you really expect from FAMU, if I'm being honest? Because after the Jackson State game, the season's over. I don't know. I mean, unless Jackson State loses twice, the season is over. So they'll have to go. FAMU has to go undefeated for the rest, and then they would need Jackson State to lose twice. So once they lost that game, it was over.
All right. Thank you, man.
Hey,
I
no
really
problem.
appreciate it.
But Blue, how do you feel about the Southern holding the
I will say this. I still haven't seen Southern look super impressive either. As much as we're, saying how bad FAMU looks and wins, I mean, Southern hasn't looked dominant outside of over UAPB. In the grand scheme of things, like, they haven't looked unbeatable. And going into Bragg is a tough atmosphere to play in. If that game's at night, Jesus Christ, that's going to be an insane environment. It's going to be tough to go to Bragg and win, whatever you want to say. And also, this is going to be crazy, Scotty. I mean, they're going to probably see the second best quarterback that they've seen all season when Musa comes in. And so it'll be a big test, and we'll see. Xavier's going to be a big matchup on the outside.
Not happening. Sorry.
Man, you're going to need chaos. Because here's the problem FAMU's going to run into. The SoCon cannibalized itself last year. But right now, the SoCon has Mercer at 11, Chattanooga at 10, Sanford's top 15, Furman's receiving honorable mention votes. And that's 4 teams in the SoCon that at the end of the year, depending on how things work out, are probably all going to make the playoffs. If 4 SoCon teams are getting in, then you got the big sky, Scotty. Montana State, Sac State's going to get in. Idaho, with that win over Montana, is probably going to get in. So you're at least going to have 4 Big Sky teams getting in. Then at the MVFC, you're going to have South Dakota State, North Dakota State. Probably North Dakota is going to get in, depending on how they look down the stretch. Southern Illinois is going to get in. And then the OVC's champion is going to get in. Then you got the Big South champion, probably A&T or Campbell.
CAA.
The CAA is probably going to get like 5 teams in. I'm going to be honest with you. Richmond, Elon, Delaware, William and Mary. Those are probably at least 4 teams that are going to get in. And then on top of that, Scotty, you got the Southland, Southeastern Louisiana and Incarnate Word are both probably going to get in if Southeastern Louisiana can get their stuff together. So, and then you got the NEC champion getting in. Then you got the Pioneer champion getting in. You got all these other auto bids due to winning the conference. So you're going to need pure chaos to happen if FAMU wants a chance. And then thank you, Lawrence. UT Martin and SCMO don't play each other, so the OVC could potentially get 2 teams in. And then God forbid if Tennessee State goes on a run and wins, they might get 3.
So that's Blues pure chaos, right? So listen, this is why I'm not a FAMU fan, because if you stop Xavier, that's their whole offense at this point in time. And if Southern beats Jackson, they don't need the FAMU game. They don't need it. You know what I'm saying? They can literally coast their way unless they completely fall apart and they just lose everything to the end, like Grambling and all. I mean, yeah, you still want to beat that. We still want that dub. But you know what I'm saying? If they beat Jackson, they're literally coasting into the championship. But they got to have FAMU or Jackson to really pull this thing out. But FAMU is a one-dimensional team. And I'll be, somebody tell me if they seen it. Come on, man. Like, what are we, like, their defense isn't all that. Southern's defense. Okay, let me ask you this. Let me break it down like this, Blue. Southern's D-line, FAMU's D-line. Which one you going with?
Right now, Southern.
Southern's defensive backs, FAMU's defensive backs. Where you going?
Can I get a push? I think Southern's better at safety, but FAMU's better at corner.
Okay. So you take it. Oh, I like the Bowler brothers. The Bowler brothers.
Yeah. The corner's got FAMU, but with Jordan Moore being declared out for the rest of the season, give me Corian Harris in that safety unit.
Okay. So we'll say DB, safeties go Southern, DBs go FAMU. All right. I know you're gonna go linebacker Isaiah Major. I know that is what it is. Offensively, all right, let's flip it. O-line, Southern or FAMU?
Southern.
Southern. All right. Running backs, Southern or FAMU?
Production this year, I got to go Southern. I think FAMU has the potential to get there if Terrell Jennings can get back to full strength and be cooking.
Wide receivers, you're going to give it to FAMU.
It's FAM all the way.
If right now, quarterback's a push to me because
I disagree. I'm giving it to Musa.
I listen, but Sean's just too dynamic. Like his legs overshadows Musa's inconsistency. That's where like, yes, Bashan's not great at throwing the ball, but he's great at running. Musa's not great at running. He's decent. He's okay at throwing the ball. He's pretty damn good at throwing the ball. So for me, that kind of balances out. That's why I'm going push. Because what Musa can't do with his feet, Bashan McCray can take it to the house, 60 yards, just run it.
I'm still gonna give it to Musa, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think what you're seeing is he's suffering from this supposed run game that he was gonna have. I still think he's a more accurate quarterback. I still think he has a better arm, and I still think he has better pocket presence too. And then on top of that, he has a better receiving core. So I trust him to get it done in the crucial moment. So to me, man, I still haven't seen enough from McCray to say that he's better than Jeremy Musa right now as a quarterback.
I didn't say he's better. I just said it's a push because I am not saying
I can't give him that. I don't. If you had to rank quarterbacks right now, Scotty, give me your top three, and there's no way he's above Musa in that top three ranking.
No, he's not. He's probably like 4.
So how's it a push if you're like conceding that he would be ranked higher as a quarterback?
For me, I'm looking at it as his dynamic, right? Because I wouldn't rank him above because the only reason I'm ranking him above him is because of his arm. But if I'm taking it as a holistically as a quarterback, like of what Bashan can do outside the pocket, like that's like Malik Hodge. Well, he's not as good a thrower as Musa, but he's way more dynamic running the ball. So it's like, what do you want? So it's, to me, that's why it's a push. I would go, if it would go Shador, Andrew Body, Musa, Bashan McCray. And Demetrius Davis, he's too hurt for me to even consider him in any of these.
When he gets healthy, he can be in the conversation. But like, I need to see him more.
Yeah, so that's where it is with me. But I'm going to this caller 0685 coming to you 0685. Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, what's up, Scotty? What's up, Blue? How y'all doing? This is Byron calling from Arizona.
What's up, man? Talk
good,
to me,
man.
Hey, Blue, I got a question for you, man. Hey, so I know you picked Tennessee State to win the OBC. So let's say if they run the table and beat EIU, Murray State, SEMO, and UT Martin, and Texas Commerce, does the OBC get 3 teams in the playoffs?
So if I had to pick today, listen, Tennessee State was my preseason pick. I would probably say SEMO is going to win it this year if I had to put money on it right now. But let's say Tennessee State wins out and gets in. I still think Tennessee State would get the auto bid. SEMO would have a good enough resume with that win over Southern Illinois to get in. The question, the bubble team for me would be UT Martin. There's already a lot of question marks about their resume right now, regardless. And if they took a loss to Tennessee State, I wonder if that would keep them out. I just think it would. What would happen with the SoCon teams and Southeastern Louisiana would be the question marks for me. So I would give it probably a 35-40% chance, but UT Martin would be the team that, if any, would be on the outside looking in. I think SEMO would probably have the best chance of getting in.
Okay, because what do you have UT Martin currently ranked as far as your polls?
I don't know where they are in the national poll. Let me pull up my poll real quick, because I got them in like the low 20s right now, I believe.
Yeah, because I believe they're remaining scheduled. I know they're at Tennessee this week or whatnot, and I know a fairly easy schedule coming up. I know they got Kennesaw State later on in the year, but Kennesaw State been a disaster so far.
Yeah, they're atrocious. So I have SEMO. At 16 and UT Martin at 23 right now in my poll.
UT Martin at 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what the bad thing about UT Martin is that Missouri State loss is looking even worse now. So
horrible.
They probably they probably will fall out if they lose to Tennessee State. So I get where you're coming from.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, that's all. All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. Appreciate it. That's Blue breaking it down to you, boy. I'm telling you, breaking it down. All right, Blue. Where you gonna be this weekend, man?
Chattanooga. I'll be at Chattanooga Mercer this weekend. Man, I'm really excited for that game. You got a hell of a defense. Devontae Maxwell, Jay Pearson for Chattanooga up against Fred Payton, man, who is putting on just a clinic, man. Man, he threw his first interception of the season last week, Scotty, in a 55-33 blowout, and he's got 21 passing touchdowns and thrown for almost 2,000 yards. Dude is playing out of his mind. Plus, they got a rushing game, 2 great wide receivers, and their defense is just opportunistic as hell, man. That's probably going to determine who wins the SoCon this year, and it's a big road game for Mercer. Mercer came into the season, Scotty, never being preseason ranked in their program history, and if they win this game, they're going to make a run up into close to the top 5, depending on how things work out in front of them. No rain in the forecast, man. Listen, I'm excited for the weather. It's finally cooling off. It was hot as hell in Baton Rouge last weekend.
Man, boy,
Jesus.
But how would you know you was in the press box?
I was on the field, man. What you mean?
Oh yeah, you was walking around. Yeah. I saw you with your camera.
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay. All right. You got me. All right. Listen. I didn't want to say this because I didn't want nobody to rob me. I'll be flying into Jackson, right? Flying to Jackson. Then we're gonna drive down to Alcorn. So I'm flying into Jackson. I'm not telling you my time because I don't want nobody scoping my stuff. I don't want nobody scoping my stuff out. God, well, I'm flying into Jackson. We go and listen. I've been seeing some TikTok, man. Bro, it's crazy down there. So we're flying to Jackson. Do what we're gonna do. We're gonna head on down to Alcorn and things like that. So we'll see what it is, man. I'm gonna probably, stop by city, see all the festivities going around. Maybe say what's up to Good Morning America. I don't know. Say what's up to Michael Strahan or something. Who knows, man. But we gonna get in and get out before I get shot. Let me see. They gonna find these. They see when coaches fly to recruit.
It's gonna be Scotty flight tracker on all the message boards.
Not even. You know what I'm saying? Not even. You ain't gonna catch me slipping. Head on the swivel, baby. All right, so we gonna pack up tonight. Hey, listen, always on the awareness. Always on the awareness. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna go down. We gonna drive around, see what the festivities look like. Probably go to Stamps, get a burger, and head on out. All right, listen. So if you catch me down to the Alcorn homecoming, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there early. All right, I'm gonna be there early. So, because that parade started at 9, we probably going to be at the stadium about 8 in the morning, and we're going to be there all day until the game start. So, make sure y'all tune into that. But, listen, until next time, you know what we going to do. We going to holler. God bless. And listen. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry, Blue. My bad. To the man that called Mr. McGee, thank you so much. I do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have fun with it. I take it serious. It's my job. It's all I do. Blue, we both take this very, very seriously. Blue does on-3 stuff with Auburn and things like that. So, we're both doing this. But I just want to tell you, thank you for the encouragement. And I'm glad I could be that outlet for your pops. If it's for the laughter, it's for, talking sports or, him getting mad at what I said about Jackson. I understand it's all love. It's all fun. And I try to entertain as much as possible. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the family. And please listen, that number at the top. Anytime you want to text me, anytime you want to get in contact with me, just text that number and you can get a hold of me anytime. All right. So listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.